So there is a direct path, a direct path to the self, which is to go directly at that is aware. You do not go to any images, you do not go to thought, you do not go to the body, you do not go to the mind, you go directly to that is aware. That is aware is the reality that perceives right now. The contemplation is a contemplation of that is real. It is not a contemplation of thoughts and images. It is not a contemplation of feelings and opinions and sensations. It is not a contemplation of various points of view. It is not a contemplation of the past or the future. It is a contemplation of truth, of whatever it is that is real. And the contemplation itself has to be real, and not just some dream, a series of thoughts and feelings. If the contemplation is not real, there is no point in going any further with it. In order for the contemplation to be real, whatever is conducting it has to also be real. So the contemplator is real, and what is contemplated is also real. Because if the contemplator is real, and instead of contemplating what is real, is contemplating how old Santa Claus is, there is no point of this contemplation. Because we don't really care how old Santa Claus is. Because there is no such a thing as Santa Claus. So whatever is being contemplated needs to be real. And whatever is contemplating must be real. Because if it is Santa Claus that is contemplating, then the contemplation means nothing, because that would be an illusory contemplation. So in order for your contemplation to be real, you, the contemplator, must be real. And whatever it is that you are contemplating must also be real. What is this I that is real? It cannot be something that will appear tomorrow, or something that has appeared yesterday and dissolved. It has to be something that is appearing right now, and it keeps appearing every moment keeps appearing. It is what it is, eternal, meaning it is not in time. Now, when I say appearing, I mean to, whenever you look for it, you find it. Not as an appearance, but you find it. What is it in your experience right now that you find and that you will always find? that you find at 6 o'clock in the morning, at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? What is it that always is? You are all a mature group of truth lovers, and we all know the answer to this question, which is I awareness. It is I awareness, consciousness, that is real. Consciousness is real. And if the topic of my contemplation is real, given there is only one reality, then consciousness is contemplating itself. Which in a way makes no sense, because contemplation already is itself. So one could say that the contemplation, the true contemplation, is consciousness recognizing itself or being itself. So recognizing yourself as consciousness is true contemplation. Thank you. Inge, I got your question. I'll go to it in a minute. So this is why the teaching can be summed up in one word: be. Simply be. But how can I be if I already am? What do I do? What is the practice for me to be what I already am? In fact, there is no practice. It's just a recognition. Recognizing that you are that you are being, and that this being is also aware. That I am, beyond any doubt, I am, whatever that I is. And I am aware. I am and I am aware. Being, I am aware, awareness, knowingness. Sat Chit Ananda. It's a recognition of the reality of consciousness and the knowingness of consciousness. Its reality and its knowingness. It's self-knowing and it is all-knowing. That's why the Greeks, they summed the teaching in just two words: know thyself, know the self, know yourself. Sometimes I say know your true self, because there is an imagined self. So in the contemplation, we start with all sorts of beliefs that we have about ourselves and about others, about the world, about our past and future. And as we contemplate those beliefs, we find that there is a hidden belief within these beliefs, which is the belief that I am born, that I am a body-mind, that consciousness is born. We come upon the belief that I am awareness born in 1960 so-and-so or 1950 so-and-so. And that consciousness is a body-mind, is limited to the body and is contained in the body, in the brain, or And when we contemplate these beliefs, we find that they do not have any basis, any foundation to them in fact. They're just beliefs. So initially the practice is that of shedding what I am not, shedding the false beliefs, and coming to the not knowing mind. Initially, the not knowing mind is free of false beliefs, but it's not yet full of the light of being. So we need to contemplate from that emptiness, what is the fullness, what is the wholeness. What is consciousness? So we contemplate consciousness to come upon its universal reality, to come upon consciousness as the one reality, as the reality of everything, while it is not a thing. Before we go to your questions, I'm going to respond to Inga. So Inga, you're right. Could we go directly to awareness if we didn't have a mind and an intellect? Like people that are mentally challenged, can they experience awareness? Okay, so the question is, could we go directly to awareness if we didn't have a mind and an intellect? So when we say the mind or the intellect, we're referring to thought, right? Mind means thinking, means thoughts, all sorts of thoughts. So the question is, could we go directly to awareness if we didn't have any thoughts? If there were no thoughts? Ask yourself, Inga, the following question. Am I aware? When you ask this question, I assume your answer will be, yes, I am aware. And this question will be very quick. You will not need to think about it. You don't go, in order to answer this question, you don't go to any library. You don't go to the past, you don't go to the future. You go directly to awareness. You go directly to, am I aware? You go directly to awareness. You don't go to thought. Similarly with the question, am I? If you ask yourself the question, am I? The answer would be yes. Which is different from, am I a man, or am I a woman, or am I rich, am I poor? It's just, am I? Because if you ask your question, am I rich? You have to think about how much money you have in the bank. Am I a man or a woman? You have to recollect the image of the body. But the question, am I, or am I aware, do not go to thought in order to get an answer. They go directly to the experience of being aware. So, am I aware leads you directly to the experience of being aware, which is different from thinking. Now, if you ask the question, am I aware of the oak tree in the yard, then you will need to go to the senses. You will need to go to the thoughts and say, oh, well, no, that's not a maple tree. Yeah, that's an oak tree. You will look at the leaves of the tree. You may look at the bark of the tree, and you will determine that that is an oak tree, that yes, I am aware of the oak tree. In this case, you have gone to thought in order to answer the question, am I aware of the oak tree? But the question, am I aware, you do not need to go to the oak tree. You do not need to go to the images of the body. You don't need to go to any thoughts. But you can answer that directly by going directly to the experience of being aware. You say people who are mentally challenged, can they experience awareness? Now, when you ask the question, am I aware? And you say, yes, I am aware. There were no people. There was just a direct knowingness. In the second part of your question, you're assuming that there are people who are aware. So you're saying, well, here is a person who is mentally handicapped or mentally challenged. And the question is, can this challenged body-mind be aware? There is an assumption in your question. The assumption is that a body-mind or a healthy body-mind is aware. In fact, when you ask yourself the question, am I aware? You are not asking a healthy body-mind. Hello, healthy body-mind, are you aware? You are not asking the body-mind. You are asking awareness. You are asking, am I aware? The I that you are asking is awareness. Because what is it that you are in this very moment? Are you a body-mind instrument? Or are you that is aware of being aware, and that is aware of the body-mind instrument and of what the body instrument is used for? Let me repeat the question. Are you the body-mind that via which you perceive the world body-mind, or are you that perceives via the body-mind? A good metaphor of that I see the second part of your question, Inga. A good metaphor for that is when you use, when an astronomer uses a binocular to look at the galaxies, what is it that is perceiving the galaxies? Is it the binocular, or is it the astronomer? Now, if the telescope is broken, the astronomer cannot perceive the galaxies, which is true. But nothing is happening to the astronomer. The astronomer is still aware. So awareness is the astronomer. The binocular is the body-mind. So the body-mind could be severely challenged, or the body-mind could have Down syndrome, as you asked. Can someone with Down syndrome experience awareness? So the body-mind can have Down syndrome and will not be able to perceive the world, body, mind. But awareness doesn't belong to the instrument. It is not the binocular, it's not the telescope that is aware. It is the astronomer that is aware. It is the astronomer that perceives. So I hope this is clear, and I'm sorry you're not online, so we can interact directly. I'm thinking about changing to the Zoom platform pretty soon, but I'm still looking into that. I'm not very familiar with it, where there would be a larger group of people where we can all interact together. So there is an assumption in your question that it is the body-mind that is aware. You see, Inga, that's the main flaw in your question. It is not the body-mind that is aware. It is awareness that is aware. Awareness is aware. Now, via the body-mind, I'm aware of the world, body-mind. For example, if the body is blind, if, for example, the eyes, there is a defect with the eyes and they're blind, then I will not be able to perceive the colors of the trees or the colors of the flowers, or I will not be able to perceive. You see? So, but the fact that I cannot perceive the world, body, mind only refers to a certain condition of the body. It doesn't refer to the condition of consciousness. Consciousness does not have any phenomenal qualities and is not subject to phenomenal events. Well, I hope that clarifies this question, Inga. Okay, hello Shiva. You sent me the following email. Oops. I'm sorry, in your email you said, can you start with these following words, but I did not. But I will continue with them. So you write, acceptance is not a sacrifice or a process of will. In the openness inherent in our essential nature, there is no one who accepts. Acceptance or letting go are therefore passive in their absence of a director doer, and active in the sense that one remains supremely awake and vigilant, ready for what presents itself. Yes, this is a very beautiful quote you sent me, and I will read it one more time because it's really beautiful. Acceptance is not a sacrifice or a process of will. So one could say that in acceptance, in true acceptance, there is no one who is accepting. In true letting go, there is no one who is letting go. Because you have to also let go of the one that is letting go. But if you're not letting go of the one who is letting go, then it's not complete letting go. It's a make-believe letting go. The true letting go is a complete letting go to the extent that there is no one letting go. So in fact, true letting go, complete letting go, it goes beyond letting go. So it's more of a recognition that there is no reality to that separate self that decides to let go or not to let go. All that is illusion. some sort of imaginary doer, imaginary chooser, imaginary personal self that is letting go or not letting go, that is doing a practice, that is seeking or not seeking. All of that is dream stuff. And there is a recognition that is not of the mind, that bypasses the mind, where the self recognizes itself as the one reality with nothing opposed to it, nothing to let go of, as I am everything and nothing. I am nothing and everything. Given I am the one reality and there is only one reality, and that consciousness is this reality, what is there outside of this oneness to hold on to or to let go of? Where would I let it go of to? Where to? So acceptance is not a sacrifice. There is no one who is doing a sacrifice or a process of will. There is no personal will. There is only, you could say, God's play, God's dream, and God's reality. And this reality is what we refer to as I. It is this transparent beingness that defies the mind, that dreams this dream, that plays this play without giving a hoot about the play, being completely free of the play, completely detached of the play. The play doesn't matter. It's amusing, and it's also designed for the self to awaken to itself. Because in this waking dream is the opportunity to awaken from the dream. So the dream is, in a way, your playground to awaken from the dream, and then to celebrate and contemplate the self in its complete splendor. So continuing Shiva, you write, acceptance or letting go are therefore passive in their absence. In the absence of a doer, yes. Yes, so acceptance or abandon or letting go, in the absence of a doer, they are passive, but there isn't even any fact to letting go, because the holding on, the contraction has its manifestation in the mind, but not in reality. So yes, one could say that we invite the mind to relax into being, to relax as being, to recognize that there is no need to struggle, no need to seek, no need to follow, no need to pursue, and that it can find what it's looking for in resting as opposed to in seeking. So the invitation is to rest as being, to recognize that there is this resting space, this placeless place of being that has no phenomenal issues. It has no problems to resolve. It's just invited to relax and rest as its true self. And the true self of the mind is the emptiness, is the stillness, is the presence, is the vastness, is the absence. So invite the mind to its absence, to relaxing in the space of being. And the space of being is the inherent reality or truth of the mind. The mind appears in the stillness. The movement of the wind appears in the vastness of the sky. They say also acceptance and letting go are active in the sense that one remains supremely awake and vigilant, ready for what presents itself. Yes. So one could say that the sadhana, the path, is a path of vigilance and relaxation. So in the relaxation is the letting go, is the falling back into being, as being. And the vigilance is noticing the mind's tendency to personalize all experiences, to overlay all experiences with a personal quality. And there's a need to be vigilant to the tendency for the mind to bring a personal doer, or to recognize, to give recognition to a personal entity that in this movement, in this tendency to personalize, is the separation and the angst and the unhappiness that we experience. So I would be watchful not to encourage this sort of mindfulness where we are being mindful of everything. I am mindful that I am moving my hand a little bit to the right. I am mindful that I am moving my fingers. I am mindful that I'm looking to the right. I am mindful that I am moving my foot. That is not what we are talking about in terms of being vigilant. It's not the sort of mechanical mindfulness that goes completely crazy in being mindful to how I am chewing the rice and taking my time in chewing and taking my time in swallowing. Not this sort of mindfulness. I don't know what that is. Vigilance is being mindful to the tendency of this thought, tendency in thought, to bring into a me, to bring a personal self into the scene. That I, as a person, I'm being more spiritual now. I'm doing a very good practice, and all referring to me as a person, to a body, mind, to somebody named Magdi or Joe or Joey or Tony or whatever. That sort of mindfulness is what we are talking about. Being mindful to the virus, to the I thought that injects itself in the space. There are some people who confuse vigilance and wakefulness with these repetitive mindfulness practices, like well, anyways, I spoke enough about that. So any questions? Yes, Ananda? So now that you write questions, there are many about cultivating the best kind of relationships, about potential retirement, and many etc. As these issues become more transparent, the need for vigilance subsides. The vigilance we are talking about, Ananda, is the vigilance to the personal self, to this tendency to bring in a personal story and to mix, to confuse what I truly am with a personal image with that's associated with a particular body mind.
Right. So, and these kind of questions, like you sometimes talk about contemplating.
When these questions that you have become more transparent, I guess it depends if these some of these questions may be practical questions, and some of these questions may be sort of like repetitive vasanas, that may be part of your download. So if they're vasanic and they're not like just practical questions, if they're vasanas, yes, as they become more transparent, they dissolve, meaning the personal self that is residing in these vasanas is dissolving, is becoming more and more transparent. So then the need for vigilance subsides simply because the personal self is not arising that often, or not arising any longer. So in that case, the consciousness has sort of settled as your main experience. In other words, the mind has subsided in the self, in consciousness, and the personal self is no longer arises. So there is no need vigilance. There is no longer need for vigilance, just because there are no more. There isn't a fort anymore. There are
no soldiers are coming out. Yeah. So
I don't hear you, Ananda. Let me see. Is it again my are other people hearing Ananda? Yes. Oh, okay. So Ananda, remember how once I had that same problem? Oh goodness. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see. The options. No.
We're hearing the inner workings of the sage.
How did I do that last time? There was a volume thing. Oh goodness. Okay, there's a volume thing. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's this one. Let me see this one.
Hello.
Okay. How do you? Oh, let me go this way. Oh, okay. Here it is.
Speaking?
Sound. Okay.
Speaking.
Okay.
You hear me?
Now I hear you.
Excellent.
I don't know what it is. Okay, that was the same problem I had. Okay. So I wasn't hearing you. I don't know, whatever, I didn't hear a word you said.
I was trying to clarify but everything you said was very interesting so far. But let me just look at my question again. Transparent. It's like you said, if they're just practical concerns, like, oh, I should review my bank account and decide what I have to do, or something.
Right.
That's not bringing up the personal problem.
Right. There is no need to be vigilant about that. What needs to be is you need to turn your attention to, making the right, doing the right math or whatever.
So sometimes you can now what I'm wondering is, isn't there a sort of an although it's not even real, there's a sort of almost an essential quality to the me feeling that infects the different subjects.
Yes.
Like the me feeling, that's what you want to deal with, right?
Well,
or
see, the me feeling, the me feeling will, if the me feeling is still around, then there will be some circumstances in your life that will bring it to a more visible manifestation. So let's say it's there lurking in the background, and somebody says, "Gee, you really, you keep parking your car too close to mine, and why don't you just park in your own spots correctly?" And it somehow triggers the me feeling. Then will rise up. It could be that if it just rises and then sort of dissolves, because it's really such a stupid statement from that fellow, but what's the big deal? So there is a normal there is a sort of a reaction that makes sense, that arises, but then it dissolves. Like it's like, okay, fine, so I will park my car better, so and then it's gone.
Yes.
So this situation is, I wouldn't consider that as being an issue. So
Right.
the me feeling that where somebody in that situation will upset you, and then you get upset, and it keeps spinning for you. It spins and it comes back, and you are. And I get your question. I'll come to it in a minute. And it keeps spinning for you. Oh, what a stupid guy! I don't know. I should have moved away from here a few years ago. I never liked him, anyways. Blah blah. Then you need to be vigilant to that. Meaning, you need to notice that at that moment, the me as the person, me as Ananda, the person that is getting upset by this fellow, is arising, and it's just hanging around. It's being convincing, and it's leading you by the hand, or leading you by the nose, whatever. It's leading you. It's leading you, and the more it's leading you, it creates a little bit of an avalanche, a little bit of
leverage.
Avalanche.
Avalanche. Yeah.
Avalanche. A little bit of an avalanche.
Yeah.
It has it just gets more and more upsetting. Then you hate his sister too. She's also, and and it goes on. You know how it goes on, right? So that's when you need to be vigilant. You need to notice that the I thought, the me as the person thought, is now trying to hijack your peace. It's trying to hijack it. And so you need to, because initially when this person said, "Why, you don't know how to park, you're parking like an ass," when it said that to you, it triggered you, right? So you're not feeling happy. So what you need to do is just stay with that. It's okay. You can be unhappy. You can get insulted. What's the big deal? Because you as a personal self is not what you truly are. You are consciousness. Consciousness cannot be insulted. So he insulted a ghost. So you have to stay with these feelings, because these feelings are remnants of the me. Right? They're remnants. They're remnants of the personal self. And the way they dissolve is by allowing them to be, to feel. You can feel shitty, excuse the language, for a little while. So what? You stay with that, and you invite the sensation to be without your interference, without any avoidance. Because by thinking you're trying to avoid, you're thinking, "Oh, he's the stupid guy." It's an avoidance. It's an avoidance of being. Being is pure stillness, pure silence. So you invite being. You just remain with what is. You remain silent and still. And you experience in the full experience, because the full experience is always the experience of consciousness. It may start as a feeling, but it will go quickly to consciousness. It will be the experience of consciousness. It's consciousness appearing as a feeling. It's consciousness that is appearing as a sensation. So you go to the sensation, but you don't keep moving it into more and more of a sensation. You remain still with it. So it reveals itself to be the stillness of being. All is well. All is well, not as a belief. All is well as a fact, because consciousness is wellness, is beingness. And the other thing.
No, go ahead.
And the other thing that you do simultaneously is you go to consciousness. So it's a process of experiencing whatever is arising in the complete non-movement, and you also go to consciousness that I am this awareness. I am aware. I am this awareness. And awareness is not a thing. Is not a male or a female object. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing here, which is cool, is that you don't take the ego or the self-sense to be a real something that you have to deal with. You just see it.
Right, because it arises to you as thoughts and feelings.
Right.
First, it arises as a feeling, being insulted, a feeling, right? And then it wants to go into thought, oh, I am not the stupid one, you are. Yes. Now it wants to move away from the feeling into thinking. Because it's a thought. When you say, oh, you are the stupid one, that's a thought, right? So the mind wants to engage in thought because it does not want to stay still with the feeling. Right?
Yeah.
So it wants to avoid. So it blames. It says, oh no, you are the SOB. And now I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm not feeling better. I'm feeling worse because now I've insulted myself, because the other is none other but yourself. And you know that it's gonna come back. And it goes down the hill from there. It goes downhill from there. Yes? So the process is a first noticing that it is possible to remain still, and that the asana, the sadhana, is one of stillness. To remain still and to experience what is. You can experience. You can experience whatever is arising. Why not? Why not? Like the weather. You experience the weather, right? So you have the possibility of considering everything that arises completely impersonally. That's an option that's available to you. And of course, the option that's also available to you is to consider it personally. And then you know how it goes.
You know how they have sometimes steps like yellow footprints saying to the hardware store or something, and it tries to lead you, from the parking lot.
I think so.
It'll say like
yes, the direction
this way, and then it has footprints. It's almost like you see footprints that say reactivity.
Yes.
Take this path.
Absolutely, yeah.
No.
Because if we have a great understanding of Advaita, and we still are engaging into following thoughts and being led by thoughts and being into the feelings and trying to fix our feelings and trying to get the correct image of ourselves, all our knowledge of Advaita is academic. Nothing has really changed outside of we sound like we sound very Advaitic. But then who cares about that? So there are opportunities for us, small opportunities that will arise, small things that will upset you, not a big deal. But with the small things, you can apply yourself to remain as what you are. as that is completely untouched, completely transparent to whatever is arising. So you apply yourself in a way, it's not, I mean, use the word apply, it sounds like a big deal.
Right.
You play with it, you say yes to it, it's not like some big mega practice, this is the practice, ooh la la. No, not like that. Just to experiment with that. Because why not? Why not? We know already the path of blaming and defending ourselves. We know that. We've done it a million times.
Right.
But what we have not done a million times is just to be still and to experience being insulted. Because let's see what that's about. But you experience it with the fullness. You want to experience it wholly and totally. It has nothing to do with the other. It's just diving completely into the depth and the wholeness and of your being, of whichever way your being is appearing.
It's kind of like a wonderful selfishness where you say, I'm just going to be happy. I'm not going to go into the boxing ring. I'm just going to be happy.
It sounds selfish. You're right, but the fact is,
no, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yes, in a good way.
Understand you?
Totally.
Yes, because in a way, we are one self. It's only one self, one reality. So, in disinfecting, in killing the virus here, is not limited to this body mind, because it's one consciousness. You see. There is an interaction in the field, this one unitary field. It's a unitary field of consciousness. And it's not like at the mind level, it seems to be more localized here at the mind level. There are localities.
Yes.
But in the field, there are no localities. It's one field. You see? So there is an effect. Yeah, because all these minds are appearing in this one unitary field, you see, and so there is an impact upon the infinite minds.
Oh, I see where you're going. You're addressing the idea of it being selfish. It's not selfish in terms of an individual selfishness in any way. It's actually just the consciousness coming into the whole field.
Yes.
But consciousness is the whole field.
Is the whole field. Yes, consciousness is the whole field. But I understand how you are saying it, Ananda. The language sometimes. Yes, but yes. Laina, you're right. Consciousness.
So it doesn't really make any difference if to have a big doodah with the guy who's
right.
Because it's.
Right,
it's not Laina.
Right.
I mean, it's not. It has nothing to do with me.
Yes. From a very particular point of view, there is like some sort of movement, and it seems that it's really important from that particular point of view to defend oneself, to correct things.
Yeah, I think it's the ego trying to protect itself that lashes out. And when I find myself in a Laina place, I have tried to protect her and might say something that combustible.
Yes, and the ego is in this very moment, believing myself or feeling myself to be a person.
Yes.
There isn't an ego in time. It's just in this very moment, I'm a me, and you're not going to talk to me this way. Right? It's this in this moment of overlooking our true nature, in the moment by moment overlooking or not our true nature.
Yeah.
So the yes.
That's what was funny. That's what started the conversation. What was funny was it was a ridiculous thing to get on the wrong way. That it was all one consciousness anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yes, it is one consciousness, but we need to awaken to that, and we need to somehow come to an experience of being this consciousness knowingly across the board, not remembering, forgetting, remembering, forgetting, remembering. You know, so this alertness, this vigilance, and this contemplation, make it that the personal self tendency gets wear and tear. They become worn out.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
That's what I find is happening. It's like I get tapped on the shoulder, say, "Oh, did you catch that? Yeah.
Yes.
See that? Ooh,
yes.
you really felt that? Come on!"
Right.
And they're just jewels that are coming in that let that part just subside.
Yes. Yes.
Be more in the observer of that.
Yes. Yes. Right. Tendencies to be triggered as a person, they become less and less.
Because you really see they're just tools. They're just gifts to be able to see what you really are.
Yes. Yes. In a way, getting triggered is in a way a pointer for us to notice that we just shifted away from
who we are. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Right, from being awareness to being a person right now. There is something at stake, you know. Yeah.
I find that true. There's something I'm protecting, that I'm trying to defend.
Something we're trying to defend.
I'm get in touch with what that really is.
Yes.
To defend here.
Right.
What's so precious?
Right. We notice at some point that there are like images and thoughts.
Yeah.
And that they're just recurring images and thoughts, and then we feel, oh, there is something we need to protect. So it's really important with the feeling to feel that and not to move. Just to sort of have it in a way burn itself out in our body, to burn itself out in our body.
I'm getting tested a lot, so I'm sure that's going to come up sometime.
Yeah. You know, and
I'll be thinking of you.
Yeah, but also not to be so judgmental of ourselves. You know, whichever way it works. You know, because sometimes when we add the judgment, it makes things a little bit more toxic when we are self-judging. Also, you know, just go along with it, because it all dissolves in space. It all dissolves in the space, and there's always available to us the wholeness of being in this very moment. Boom! In this very moment, where is the past? Boom! All gone. There's actually no past, nada.
No past, right?
No past. So that's it. You come to the fullness right now. It's available right now, that I am awareness. I am this borderless awareness in this very moment, period. And just to keep coming back to that, irrespective of the mind's tendency wanting to say, well, what's next after that, you know, or what will you be that tomorrow too, or are you going to be, you know, good old you know, arguing tomorrow? Despite, you see, these thoughts just keep coming back to, okay, well, interesting passing thoughts, interesting impersonal passing thoughts. Keep coming back. So it takes a certain number of iterations of recognizing over and over that I is not a body mind. There is only one I, and this I is transparent beingness, transparent, the reality of being, the reality of being awareness. That's right there. It's right there. It's closer than close.
How can you not love that?
Yes. Okay, Laina. Nice talking to you, Laina.
Thank you.
Yes. Please say hello to Jack.
I will.
There's a question from Anne Sunderland. You say, "Hi, Magdi. I am finding much more peace and stillness when I ask what is the reality of my experience." Yes, good, good. Today, whilst being, I was aware that my seeing of object seemed different, very fresh, restful, and new. That's beautiful. Very nice, Anne. So, yes, yes. I was aware that my seeing of objects seemed different, very fresh, restful, and new. Yes, yes, that's beautiful, right? Yes, yes. Say, sometimes we say the freshness of being, you know, the freshness of being, or being childlike, sort of being in awe, in awe. Then every moment is so amazing, you know, the wonder of consciousness, you know, the wonder of consciousness. Yeah, there is a freshness. Freshness means no past, no story, no history, no. The flower, the rose, is not trying to do anything. At whatever stage it's at, it is just freshly what it is. It's freshly what it is, appearing as it is, not trying to do anything. Yeah, so the contemplation of what is the reality of my experience is, because it is about reality. It is about reality. And not about images and thoughts and ideas. That's such a mess. It can be so confusing. This and that, this thought and the next thought and the next thought, and then we feel, oh my God, am I loved? Am I lovely? Am I beautiful? Am I desirable? It's a real mess. But the self, meaning consciousness, the reality of consciousness, is not a body. It's not something that you perceive like you perceive your hand, like you perceive a body. It is that perceives, the reality that perceives. The reality of your experience is not visible, but it is that perceives. It's the reality that is. It is and it perceives. It is as being, and it knows. It's aware. We have that available to us. It's consciousness is what I am. So it is available to itself. It's available to you all the time. It's always available to you to go to consciousness, just asking yourself, what am I? Am I aware? What is it that is aware? And you will come to the I that is awareness. Awareness is aware. I, awareness, is aware. And then you can contemplate that this awareness is invisible, but yet it's real and it's borderless, has no center, has no age, has no weight, no gender, yet it is. And I am that. I am that. There is no external reality. This belief in an external reality is connected to the belief that I am a body. So I am a body as a personal mind, and there is the external world. Internal mind, external world. They're just mentation, they're beliefs. In your experience, there is no such thing. And yet, when you adopt that belief without examining it, it seems that there is an internal self and an external reality. So this is why the examination of the belief is what's important. To examine that the body is something that you perceive, not what you are. It's something that you manage, that you perceive, that you take care of, not what you are. If you are taking care of it, how can you be it? So any questions, anybody?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, hello Maru.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, Maru, very well.
From what you were saying before with Ananda and the other person, what I take is that, I mean, if we are vigilant and so the me sensation arises, we can like notice that this me arises and like go to whatever is noticing that. But we could also go to the sensation. And if we go deep in the sensation, we find also like stillness. But which one is what you recommend?
Both.
Both.
Yes, both, Maru. So the contemplation is that you completely open yourself to the sensation. You tell the sensation, okay, you are here. I want you to be here because you are here. I'm completely 100% disponible. I am 100% availability. Completely, I have no issues with you. I don't want you to be bigger, smaller, larger. I want you to come and go, whatever. I have everything is open for you. Okay, the bottom floor is open for you. The first floor is open for you. The top floor is open for you, and the garden is open for you. Everything is available, open for you. The refrigerator is open for you, etc. Okay, but I am not going to get up and cook for you. I am not going to get up and make a bed for you. No, I am not here. I am complete absence. I am not going to throw you out with the broom, and I'm not going to cook for you. I am completely impersonal with you. I don't love you. I don't hate you. Claro? So you are like that. And I am not going to keep myself, to protect myself from you. I don't want to protect myself from you. That's very important, because to protecting ourselves is an instinct. It's an instinct. Oh, something, I'm not feeling good. I want to protect myself. It's instinct. Like, yeah, it's in the body. It's wired in the body mind to do that. So you're going in a way a little bit against the body, but you're going with consciousness, because consciousness is complete openness, 1000% openness. So you're going slightly against the body mind, but 100% with consciousness. So that's very, very important to do that at the feeling level, so that the body does not hold any residues. So the body becomes like a transparent space for the feeling to come and go in completely openness. And simultaneously, the sensation, that negative sensation, that contraction, arises because I'm perceiving that something is bothering me. Somebody insulted me, or I did not get the promotion, the other person get the promotion, or etc. There is an I thought. So simultaneously, you need to take a look at the I thought. Okay, and so you're not, I'll come to it in just a minute. At the same time, you need to notice, Maru, the I thought that at that moment, there is the thought that is arising that there is something bad that may happen to me, or that is happening to me. Me being this image, because you are not a me, you are consciousness, but the image of the image me is a powerful image, because it repeats itself, boom and boom, and it repeats itself. It's the me image that you are vigilant to. You notice that at that moment, the me image has come and it wants to take over consciousness. It wants to tell consciousness, hey, consciousness, you know, you are this reality, this absolute reality. Get out of the way. It is me. It is, the reality is me, right? So it's image, and it's a very powerful image because it is it's been so repetitive. It has been repeating itself for so much that we quickly believe it. We fall into it. So you contemplate, well, wait a minute, am I an image or am I perceiving the image? Obviously, what is an image if nothing perceives it, right? So there has to be some reality that perceives this image. And that reality is that perceives right now, this is the reality that's perceiving this perception right now is that same reality. It is always there, a transparent awareness, being awareness. It's the invisible self, you see, and you are that. You are that invisible self, the reality of being. That is not a thing, has no age, has no gender, has no size, has no weight, has no place. You are that transparent, aware presence. You are that reality. You are that infinite, aware, transparent, invisible presence. Yes? So you go to that. It's always available. It's so close. It's closer than close because it is what I am.
Okay. Okay.
So don't worry so much, Maru, about which one to do when and so on. I'm just saying that they're both part of the contemplation. Allow it to play itself out, whichever way, you know, it plays itself out, because it is about happiness. It's not so much about the practice or about, it's about peace and happiness. It's really important to understand that. It's about love, peace and happiness, beauty, joy, freedom. Yes, this is really what it's about.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
It's just, well,
It's okay.
it's like just allowing it to, wait, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, just noticing and relaxing.
Yes, right. Noticing, relaxing,
Not
and
literally noticing, but just relaxing.
relaxing, and in that relaxation, I recognize myself as the infinite presence. Yeah, no effort. It's a practice of love. It's a path of love, not a practice. It's a path of love. The path of love, ever deepening, and it's so beautiful, very, very lovely, very sweet. It's not solving problems. No. It's about happiness.
Yes.
Happiness now. Peace and happiness now. Love now. Joy now. Freedom now. The freedom, the peace, and the happiness that I am, that has no cause. You know, it's not about overcoming any obstacles.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Maru. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for your question, Maru. Nice to see you. And you write, yes, thank you, Magdi. That's wonderful. The reality of my experience takes me to the emptiness, very peaceful and spacious. Beautiful. That's good. I've heard it said that the emptiness is wisdom and the fullness of love. Yes. Yes. The emptiness is wisdom and the fullness of love. Yes. Okay. Very beautiful, Anne. Oh, Ananda, you had written something. I'm sorry. Let me see. You said, is it useful or necessary to have a feeling of no self, only self? No, the feeling of no self, I would say that there is in in the journey, in the initial part of our contemplation, which is what I am not, is the nitty-nitty, I am not this, I am not that, and so that initial part of the journey will eventually lead you to the emptiness, to no self, to the experience of no self. But that is not the final destination. That is not the final destination. The final destination is I am the self. Everything is the self. All is the self. So there are many teachings that speak from that interim place of there is no self, and you need to experience no self or feel no self, blah blah. That is not the revelation of happiness.
I guess because sometimes people, I have a lot of dialogue with people on different places on the internet here, and it seems like people often consider, and I guess I have too, consider that Advaitic ideas of the self, capital S, can be intellectual unless you actually have the experience of no small self. So it's almost like a litmus test. Do you really know what you mean by?
Yeah, the glimpses that we have, along the path, and there are many different glimpses, many different insights. Some of them are glimpses into the non-reality of the personal self, which you could call no self. Yes, and now the question is, can you come to the revelation of the self, capital S, without passing through the no self, the glimpse into the non-reality of the personal self?
Right.
And the answer is no. How could you arrive to the fullness of the self, the reality of the self, without the personal impression, the separate personal, the separate limited personal self dying? And it's not gonna die without you noticing.
That's what the vigilance. That's what the vigilance is really about. Then is being clear about the no self. It's no question.
Yes, being clear about the tendency. Yes, the tendency to personalize the capital self. Yes, yes.
I watched a great Francis Lucille video last night, and
yes,
he talked about the basic issue is: do you take consciousness, capital C, do you take consciousness to be personal, or somehow connected to limited something or other, anything?
Yes, and that's what does that is just a thought, one thought, the I thought, the thought that says consciousness depends on the body, is associated with the body, is connected to the body. It's like saying the astronomer is connected to the telescope, is depending on the telescope, is defined by the telescope. You want to know the astronomer? Ask the telescope.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. No, that's all very good.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you very much for your love.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Tara.
Hello, Tara. Habibti.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say, some of you know that Ananda is organizing a beautiful retreat in magical Mount Shasta that's coming up soon. We're really looking forward to that and to meeting some of you who we haven't met yet in person. And I think there's still spaces. So if anyone has an interest to join us, it, would be lovely to have anyone else along for such a beautiful retreat. And
It
thank
would
you, Ananda, for all your organizing to make this happen.
It would be nice to have the house full. It has beds for like 13 people.
Uh-huh.
And we have quite a few empty still.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for saying that.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Tara. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.